Good morning. Raging fires. Residents in California worried as wildfires continue to devastate the region. This morning, an update on the situation and where people go from here.
Plus, it's time to bring out the winter coats. This weekend, temperatures could dip into the 20s. Our weather team is breaking down just how cold we'll get.
And spooky season extended. As much of the area dealt with inclement weather last night, Muncie and some surrounding cities postponing Halloween activities. Just ahead, the places you can go trick-or-treating tonight. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal Weather.
From Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather. With Tyler, Gabe, Nathan, and Hannah, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
Oh my gosh, that's scaring me this morning. Also, the speed that I had to read there at the end.
Morning.
Getting me out of breath. But hey, good morning. 8 o'clock on your Friday morning. You're waking up with Cardinal Weather. I'm Tyler Brummett.
And I'm Gabe Pro. Glad to be with you this morning.
Yeah.
It feels more like winter this morning.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that snow. I know Nathan's going to be talking about it a little bit here in a second, but that snow forcing some surrounding areas to reschedule trick-or-treating. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those times. As you can see right there, Muncie, the city of Muncie, postponing trick-or-treating till tonight. Trick-or-treating will be taking place from 5 to 9. Now, if you check the City of Muncie's Facebook page, the city even offered an explanation because some people are kind of upset because they said that the city didn't give them enough notice. But again, trick-or-treating taking place tonight from 5 to 9. Hartford City, I know Hartford City isn't too far away. 5:30 to 8 tonight is when trick-or-treating is taking place there. Marion then from 5 to 8. Anderson from 5:30 to 8. And then Pendleton, they're actually not going to be having trick-or-treating tonight. They will have their trick-or-treating times tomorrow from 6 until 9. So we've got a full list of those times online at ballstatedaily.com. So again, just a lot happening. I know some trick-or-treating happened last night, but some, again, happening today and tomorrow.
The snow, the high winds yesterday, so it makes sense to
and I know
a lot of people outside.
And I know we've got some stuff also this morning, once again going on out west.
Yeah, the Easy Fire in Ventura County, California started this morning, but it has already scorched over 1,000 acres in just one of the blazes crews are fighting. Daryl Forges is in Simi Valley, California with the latest.
This is a challenging time.
An early morning brush fire has sprouted up in Simi Valley, California, forcing evacuations, including at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library.
We woke up out of a dead sleep, and I grabbed my phone to turn it on and get the kids, and looked out the back window while I was calling 911, and there were just flames like.
The Easy Fire is just the latest wildfire crews are battling in the Golden State. Southern California is under the first ever extreme red flag warnings issued by the National Weather Service.
The wind is so strong right now that you don't know how quickly it's traveling, so you don't know how much time you have to get out.
The Getty Fire has charred hundreds of acres. By Tuesday evening, containment numbers were up, but officials warned the fight isn't over. Winds up to 70 miles per hour are expected in some areas, and with the low humidity, it's a recipe for disaster.
It only takes one ember to blow down wind to start another fire.
The Kincaid Fire in the northern part of the state is California's largest active fire, charring tens of thousands of acres, is now at 30% containment a week after it started.
Again, that was Daryl Forges reporting. A bit later in the show, we'll have a more in-depth look at some of these fires and really all the devastation they're causing in California.
Now, when you think of Las Vegas, dry heat and wild pool parties may come to mind. That's what I love there, to be honest. But that's not what it looked like earlier this week. Take a look at this right here. It was actually a quiet night on the Vegas Strip Wednesday. All of this because of an unexpected visitor who you couldn't expect to see or feel this time of year. Yes, we're talking about cold weather hitting the Sin City, bringing with it an unseasonable freeze warning. Temperatures should get back to normal in Vegas within the next few days.
That theme of wintry weather continuing into Denver. Denver International Airport had an easier day on Wednesday after a snowstorm caused chaos the day before. According to FlightAware.com, Tuesday's snowfall led to 100 flight delays and 21 flight cancellations at the airport. An airport spokesperson stated about 800 people were left stranded because of the storm. Airport staff handed out blankets and personal hygiene items to passengers who were forced to wait for the weather to clear up. The National Weather Service said Wednesday morning that the airport got 7.7 inches of snow in 24 hours. Some locations received up to a foot of snow in the Denver area.
And the winter weather theme continuing on right now, the wintry mix of weather in the Midwest proving to be dangerous driving for even first responders. A Milwaukee police car responding to an armed robbery at a convenience store. That officer hitting a patch of ice. The squad car plowed into a gas pump and also struck an occupied vehicle. Wow, just scary stuff there. This was just one of several weather-related accidents that were reported due to slippery roads. Fortunately, though, in this case, no one was injured and a gas shutoff was triggered to prevent a fire. The bad news in all of this, though, the robbery suspect was able to escape, and there have not yet been an arrest made.
Yeah, really contrasting that in the Northeast, severe thunderstorms left nearly 800,000 without power last night, according to poweroutage.us. As of this morning, over 200 reports of damaging winds have been received by the Storm Prediction Center. High winds across the Northeast led to downed trees and power lines. Multiple tornado warnings were also issued, including one near Philadelphia, although no tornadoes have been confirmed. Definitely more wintry weather going on here locally. Nathan, what can we expect for this weekend?
Tell you what, as soon as those first snowflakes started falling, I switched the Halloween music right over to Christmas music. And it's still nice and cold this morning. 28 degrees that temperature. That's it here in Muncie. 26 in Indianapolis, 24. Good morning to you in Kokomo. You factor in the wind chill. Some areas are in the teens this morning. 14 degrees in Kokomo, 19 in Bloomington, and 19 in Terre Haute. And that's nearly 20 degrees colder compared to this time yesterday as well. And as a result, we still have a freeze warning in effect for portions of Wayne County down here, including the city of Richmond, although all areas are going to be below freezing this morning, marking the end of the growing season this weekend. Nice and quiet here on radar this morning. As we span out those, we look off to the east here. That's where the system that impacted us is located right now. You can see it swirling in parts of the northeast, bringing high wind and impacts out there. Things are nice and calm here locally, though, as we're going to see temperature rise into the 40s today with some sunny skies. I'm going to track the forecast for this weekend, as well as that daylight saving time coming to an end forecast. I'll have the latest coming up and a little bit later on.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. Just ahead, breaking down the science, hitting the road. We're taking a look this morning at the science behind roller coasters. Are you a big roller coaster fan?
I am not, actually. More water parks, actually.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, that's all coming up, though, after your weather now.
Welcome back. Good morning to you. Live look right now at the Duck Pond at 8:08 on your Friday morning. A chilly start to the morning, Gabe. I'm not a big fan of this weather. I know you were saying you're not a big fan of roller coasters, but personally,
or the weather, honestly,
I love roller coasters. And this morning, Chris Guevara is at Cedar Point, kind of taking a look at the science behind roller coasters and how they work. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, I'm here at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, and you guys can see right behind me is a ride called Gatekeeper. It's one of the many roller coasters here at the park, but why is it not running? And why is not a lot of rides running? It is due to wind. On this Breaking Down with Science, I'm going to be talking about how weather affects roller coasters.
On a nice day, or even a cloudy day that's not too cold or windy, you can see that most of an amusement park's roller coasters are up and running at its full capacity. But what will happen if you start to add wind or cold temperatures to the mix? You can start to see signs that a ride is delayed or closed. That is because in windy conditions, wind can overtake a roller coaster train, slowing it down more quickly and have a higher chance it won't make it back to the station. In cold weather, there is more friction on the wheels of trains, brakes could malfunction because of the hydraulic brake fluid, and even the computers themselves can malfunction in the cold weather. And in those nasty, rainy conditions, it can also tamper with the sensors and the brakes. So the next time you go to an amusement park where weather conditions are like this, you can start to expect rides being delayed or closed. In Sandusky, Ohio, Chris Cavera, Cardinal Weather.
Very cool stuff there.
I know,
from
right?
Chris. Yeah, good to see that. High winds here yesterday as well. And we're talking now to some space weather. No high winds in space at the moment, though. Joseph, what do you have for us this morning?
Yeah, no need to space out with these stories, guys. First things first,
good one.
telescopes may have found the smallest dwarf planet in our solar system so far. In a study released in Nature Astronomy, researchers used the telescope's SPH-ERE, or SPHERE, instrument to look at an asteroid named Hygeia. Scientists learned Hygeia covers certain requirements for being a dwarf planet. This includes being sphere-shaped and orbiting the sun. Researchers also learned Hygeia is around 267 miles across, which is much smaller than the dwarf planets Ceres and Pluto. Another study about birth control found some unique side effects for teen girl users. Researchers say teens who take birth control pills are more likely to cry, sleep too much, and experience eating issues. That's compared to peers who don't take contraceptives. For this study, researchers looked at more than 1,000 girls and women over a period of 9 years. It found girls who take the pill are also more likely to risk getting depression in adulthood, and that can cause problems later in life. The study was published in the journal JAMA Psychiatry. A powerful drug to battle the infectious disease tuberculosis is getting a major price cut up to 66%.
Interesting.
The price of the drug will go from $45 down to $15, and many organizations are excited to hear the news because currently tuberculosis is the leading cause of death in the world. Scientists are concerned the global demand may outpace supply, but many are hopeful that this will be the next positive step. Johnson & Johnson said on Tuesday that it did not find asbestos in multiple tests of a bottle of baby powder. The FDA said earlier that its tests found low levels of asbestos in one bottle of baby powder. The test led to a large recall earlier this month, but Johnson & Johnson now says third-party labs tested the same bottle and samples from the recalled lot dozens of times. They found no traces of asbestos, fortunately. The FDA has not given a response yet, but the FDA said earlier that it stood by its testing. And finally, Jeopardy host Alex Trebek is joining forces with pancreatic cancer organizations for a new public service announcement. If you may recall, Trebek was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer back in March. In the PSA, he says he wished he knew about the symptoms sooner. Symptoms include yellowing of the eyes and skin, belly or back pain, weight loss or poor appetite, and nausea. The American Cancer Society says the disease has a 5-year survival rate of 9%. Therefore, Trebek encourages people to get educated about the risks and the symptoms. You should know that World Pancreatic Cancer Day is November 21st.
Yeah, personally, big fan of Jeopardy, big fan of Alex Trebek. I know he's been really open about his fight with pancreatic cancer. It's kind of just been inspiring to see, he's going to beat this. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, right. Very cool with that. Also, going back to the first story, talking about the dwarf planets, I'm still, as an astronomy nerd, upset when we mentioned that Pluto is no longer a planet.
I always forget that.
But yeah, I don't.
It's basically because it kind of didn't clear its own path. That's
Right.
another one of those
Yeah,
qualifications.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joseph. Good to have you on again this morning. Well, as we mentioned earlier in the show, wildfires are raging out west this morning, and firefighters are continuing to battle the awful conditions.
Yeah, Gabe, just devastating stuff. After your weather now, we've got a more in-depth look at how crews are battling the flames. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The current time is 8:14. Taking a live look at the duck pond. Still a chilly 28 degrees outside on this first day of November. And on this day in weather history, a devastating 8.7 magnitude earthquake hit the city of Lisbon, Portugal in 1755. The timing of the quake on All Saints' Day made this event particularly significant. Many of the city's residents were observing the holiday in churches when the first tremors were felt. Fires quickly broke out across the city and a 20-foot tsunami was generated. The royal palace, churches, homes, and almost all of the city's cultural history was wiped away in an instant. Approximately 50,000 people died as a result of the earthquake and tsunami. The city had to be completely rebuilt from scratch following the destruction. This event became a crucial part of Voltaire's famous book, Candide, where he argues the earthquake ultimately happened for the best. And good morning to Nathan Gidley. Luckily, no earthquakes to worry about here, but some chilly conditions.
No earthquake weather here, but we are looking back on the month of October as we turn the calendar to November today. Notice that we had some pretty extreme weather this month. 93 degrees the first 2 days of the month. Unbelievable it was that warm to start the month, but then we transitioned to 1.05 inches of rain recorded on October 26th. And yes, of course, that snowfall that happened on Halloween yesterday. So an unbelievable month of weather. Current temperatures outside right now, 26 in the Circle City, 27 in Shelbyville. Good morning to you in Kokomo. You're sitting at 24 degrees. Again, those wind chills out there, still quite chilly at this hour. 18 the wind chill in Indianapolis, 22 the wind chill in Muncie. And as a result, we still have that freeze warning in effect for Wayne County down here, including the city of Richmond, until 11 a.m., although all areas in our viewing area are under freezing at this hour. So really, radar is looking nice and clear this morning. That's allowed those temperatures to really drop off as we head throughout the morning hours. But look off to our northwest here, seeing some areas of snow showers and mixed precipitation there. That's going to track toward our area as we work into the day tomorrow. But things are looking great today. We're in the clear slot, mostly sunny, 43 degrees, winds coming out of the southwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Through the day today, we're going to warm up quite nicely, back into the 40s, so really not too bad, all things considered, considering how cool we were yesterday. Lows dropping back to around 30 degrees tonight, as we're going to see temperatures back in the 30s by 7 o'clock, 38 by 7, 36 by 9, and 35 by 11 p.m. Now for your Saturday, we're going to start to see those snow showers start to move toward our area. This, by the time you wake up on Saturday, could see a line of some mixed precipitation working its way through. But by the time we get to the afternoon, we'll start to see those isolated showers and maybe some mixed precipitation all throughout the day there on Saturday. Temperatures are going to rise back into the 40s there on Saturday, but as we look ahead toward the Saturday, remember the end of daylight savings time happens on Saturday night. Make sure to turn those clocks back 1 hour. By the time you wake up on Sunday, you're going to get that extra hour of sleep, and we love our sleep here at Waking Up with Cardinal Weather. So for your day on Sunday, we're going to start to clear off. It's going to be a nice day there Sunday as well. Just a few passing clouds throughout the day. No concerns about precipitation for your Sunday. As we look ahead again at the recapping this weekend, rain and snow on Saturday, 42 degrees, chance of precipitation 30%. Sunday looking good, temperatures rising closer to 50 with a high of 49 under partly cloudy skies. In the exclusive mid-7-day forecast, you see we start to warm up as we head into next week. 49 Sunday, 56 on Monday. Though a cold front's going to sweep through on Tuesday, bringing some rain chances there. 52, 45 on Wednesday, another rain chance on Thursday. Temperature also 45.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. Hoping that the snow can just stay away personally. Not a big fan of it, but you know what I am a big fan of? Bears. And bears at a Chicago zoo. They got into the Halloween spirit with some trick-or-treating, or rather just some treating. Take a look. I'm sure that this is some cute video here. Brookfield Zoo's bears were caught on camera digging into their Halloween treats. The pumpkins were filled with things like blueberries, fish, and nutritious biscuits. Sounds like a delicious meal there.
You just how to open that thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he was able to open it that quickly. Now, it's not something that they get to eat all the time, but zoo workers say the special treats help give the animals a physical and mental boost. And we need that physical.
That is adorable. That made my morning. Well, also some good news. The Federal Aviation Administration is set to clear pilots with insulin-treated diabetes to fly commercial airliners. That's according to a U.S. Department of Transportation official who said the new protocol could be announced as early as next week. It'll let pilots with insulin-treated diabetes apply for a first or second class medical certificate, which is required to fly commercially. Pilots with insulin-treated diabetes have been allowed to act as pilot in command of a U.S. airplane since 1996, but only on private flights. They were not allowed to act as pilots on airlines or other commercial flights. In a court filing, the FAA said advances in the treatment of diabetes and the management of blood sugars have mitigated the risk of episodes of severe low blood sugar. The FAA declined to comment on the news.
Meanwhile, we want to get you back to California. Hundreds of fires are blazing across the state this morning as firefighters work throughout that state to contain the flames, even as new fires spring up. But officials say despite the conditions, things may actually be looking up. Daryl Forges is back with us now in Ventura County, where hurricane-force winds have fueled the infernos, threatening homes and forcing thousands of evacuations.
Homes right behind me, as you could see, covered with fire retardant because of the fires here in Ventura County. But there's another fire happening just 100 miles southeast of us in San Bernardino. I'm going to go and show you that video right now of what's happening in San Bernardino, California. That fire is called the Hillside Fire. And right now, people in that area are going through mandatory evacuations, and several homes are on fire. And the fire is fast moving, covering 200 acres. Fires across California continue to rage overnight. Wildfires burning for days, still spreading, while new infernos sprung up on Wednesday. But progress is being made.
The winds that we were talking about yesterday did not materialize to the extremes that we were fearful of. There's a lot of optimism that we have turned the corner for the better on this fire.
Officials warn residents to be cautious. However, though the winds in Northern California are settling, the threat of fire remains.
We are remaining in a very dry air mass over the next several days, even into next week. So keep that in mind. Even though this is the end of the wind event, we are expecting to see those continued dry conditions over several days.
In Southern California,
these winds are not helping.
19 million residents remain under a rare extreme red flag warning as hurricane-force winds have fueled several fires and prompted thousands of evacuations.
I'm not scared, but my husband and daughter, they're packed and ready to go. I'm kind of keeping an eye so I can let them know if it jumps the street and goes into the houses, because that's where we live, and it's the wind is directly aiming at our house.
Fortunately, residents can begin to breathe a sigh of relief as the winds will lighten up heading into the weekend. And those wind speeds reach as high as 74 miles per hour in some areas. The biggest hope is for those wind speeds to calm down sometime this afternoon. In Ventura County, Daryl Forges, back to you.
All right, Daryl, thank you so much. And I know just devastating out there. Really, even though we're thousands of miles away, you can just feel the fear that residents in the area have.
Yeah, and sometimes even that smoke can travel over here with the jet stream. So yeah, definitely some big impacts.
Yeah, and I know yesterday we were watching our friends out at KTLA in Los Angeles. Their entertainment anchor, Sam Rubin, he had to evacuate. So it's really just impacting everyone. So again, we will continue to keep you updated. And in just a moment, we're taking a look at some of the other week's top stories in your Cardinal Weather News Minute.
Yeah, that's all coming up after a message from Mitz.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitz will take you there.
Welcome back. Time now to take a look at some of the top stories from this week in your Cardinal Weather News Minute. Members of the Harvest Church held a meeting last night because they're worried about the placement of a new building. The church used the meeting to express their disappointment for not being aware of the project. Across the street from the church is the Muncie Sanitary District, and next to the church is a natural gas filling station. It was decided last night that Harvest Church and the Sanitary District will have a meeting. That meeting will take place between now and the next board meeting on November 21st. The Anderson Fire Department is one of the first to begin a peer support group for their firefighters. This support group began back in 2014 in response to a rise in suicides among their first responders. Now, Tuesday was their first community outreach program, which took place at Highland Middle School. The Anderson Peer Support Group hopes Tuesday's event will help inspire other departments to begin similar programs for their first responders. The House of Representatives approved a resolution to formalize its procedure for the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Thursday's vote was 232 to 196. It was the first time the full House chamber took a vote related to the matter. The resolution only details the process of the inquiry. Public hearings will likely begin before Thanksgiving. And that's your Cardinal Weather News Minute on this Friday morning.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Hey, good morning to you as well at the desk. I'm Tyler Ryan here giving you your national weather. We're actually pretty quiet and cold across here. You can see we're nothing but blue. Some areas down south are a little bit of green, but we're pretty cold across here, across the United States. And we're actually not going to warm up too much in some areas, but other areas we're going to warm up pretty good. Like down here in Dallas, you're going to be around 58 degrees. Up here in the northern part, you're still going to remain cold, especially back home. We're only going to warm up about 12 degrees. Right now, those wind chills are playing a factor into the coldness of the United States, and actually why some areas have issued some freeze warnings as well, especially down to the south. As you can notice here, parts of Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, and even parts of Houston and Texas, pretty cold. That's why you have those freeze warnings in effect, because those wind chills are down to the 20s and even the 30s and to the 20s as well. Like I said earlier, Kentucky, Tennessee, and parts of Ohio are dealing with that freeze. And then if we go up a little bit more north, you can definitely tell. It looks like actually an elementary school kid has really scribbled on the map here with a lot of colors anticipating here across up in here in the northeast of America with a little bit of the winds as well. And then unfortunately, out west, you're still dealing with those red flag warnings and really no relief in sight here on the radar. Let's take a look out over there. Los Angeles, nothing on radar, unfortunately. So those fires are really going to be battling going in the next couple of days, and really no relief in sight. Winds are going to be into the 20s and 30s miles per hour. And no rain in the forecast for the next several days. So unfortunately, hopefully we get some relief here soon, but nothing has looked promising yet in the forecast. But right here across now Nebraska, as well as up in Minneapolis, you're dealing with a little bit of that snow, a little bit of mixed precipitation in Nebraska as well. And here, Precision Cast, this is going to be our next weather maker. It's going to be making its way to the eastward and actually bringing us a little bit of rain and snow here in the Muncie area by your Saturday morning. And then we're going to go broaden out, but really mainly quiet for the next couple of days. So it's actually, no relief out west, unfortunately, but a lot of snow and rain up to the north and parts of here as well.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Domino's is rolling out what might be the strangest pizza combination ever. Take a look at the company's new bubble tea pizza. It's centered around the popular bubble tea, which is a milky, sugary drink with chewy balls of tapioca called pearls or boba.
What is that?
Have you never had it?
No.
No, it's usually served over ice, but Domino's has taken things a step further and turned the drink into a pizza. The toppings include black sugar pearls, honey, and cheese. If you want to taste it, you better head to Taiwan. Okay, this is starting to make sense now. Yeah. That's where bubble tea was created in 1988. But you better hurry. The chain is only offering the dessert pizza for 1 month. I'm not too concerned about that one. Firefighters are busy at work in California this morning, and one NBA star is giving back in a unique way. LeBron James provided a taco truck for Los Angeles first responders. The Lakers player is known for his love of Taco Tuesdays and paid taco truck to provide the crews a free lunch. James was even forced to evacuate his home due to the flames. The Getty fire began early Monday morning when a tree fell into a power line. The lines continued to deliver electricity, and the sparks created a quick-spreading fire, which has yet to be extinguished.
Yeah, what a nice present there for the first responders.
I'm glad he didn't give them any bubble tea pizza.
Yeah, exactly. At least he gave them some really good tacos. And speaking of really good tacos, we're hoping that we have some really good weather out there, but I don't think that's the case at all. So maybe stay inside, eat a taco.
Yeah, one last look at that mid 7-day forecast. Cool this weekend, we warm in the next week, but then a cold front sweeps through on Tuesday, going to bring rain chances and drop the temperatures by the middle portions of next week.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.